Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. With the help of the BigChadGuys Plus mod pack, including mods such as Cobblemon, Farmer's Delight and Create, I will build a cozy Pokemon farm in the lush mountains of my world. Firstly, to start off my Minecraft adventure, I first gathered the necessary ingredients to make a full set of stone tools and also picking my first Pokemon companion. Oh, okay. Oh, we've got the new ones up here apparently. And after a very long time looking through the menu, I finally found my starter. Yeah, I do know quite a lot of Pokemon, so I should know every single Pokemon in here, hopefully. But because this is farming, I think I'm gonna go with classic Bulbasaur here. I'm just gonna have to get started, aren't I now? We'll see. I haven't got any Pokeballs to start with, so I might have to give myself some time before I can get some new Pokemon, stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know, I've never done this mod pack before, so and it wasn't long till I found my first wild Pokemon. Ah, Fuecoco. Yes, you heard me right. I called a Fido a Fuecoco. I think I must have picked the wrong starter because it was just tingling on my mind throughout the whole playthrough apparently, so I'm so disappointed in myself. Oh, he's so cute! Okay, let's go into the diary. While I go and spend ages collecting free rewards, I'd first like to point out what my points are in this series. So my first point is I want to create a farm which can have harvestable Cobblemon such as Wooloo and Milk Tank, and I also want to make sure that these farms work around Farmer's Delight crops such as tomatoes and cabbages, but this also means that I have to explore other means such as making a vineyard to make wine, but also to create a kitchen so I can create different sort of food as well. This leads perfectly onto my automation, where I'd like to create some small parts with create contraptions such as windmills to create power, and to use this to make mills and all sorts like that. So it wasn't long till I found my first village, and I managed to get in its bed, and that was my very first day, and luckily I had a bed, otherwise I would have been attacked by a zombie I saw. After looking around a little bit, I found this Farmer's Delight house with all this sort of things, and I also found a little grey shark toy which is quite cute. So obviously set off and started slaughtering some sheep, and then came across my first battle. So I came across this Yamper, and obviously I started using Leech Seed like anyone that uses Bulbasaur to get some health, which was lucky as the Yamper tried to reduce my defense and I started to attacking it. Luckily my Vine Whip did half its health, so I knew I had one more turn. The Yamper used Tackle back at me, and I regained the health from that anyway, and I just finished it off with one last Vine Whip. If I had some Pokeballs, I probably would have caught it here, but I just didn't have any Pokeballs, so I couldn't catch it sadly. So I sadly had to kill the Yamper, and I'll have to catch one later on. I also found some apricorns, which will be helpful crafting Pokeballs later, and I also found a Waystone, which will be very fun to use, with an unidentified name of Cohesive. And then I found these villagers having a wonderful time in this little barrel area. And randomly out of the trees, a Rowlet appeared, which was super cool as I want to collect all the grass type starters in the game. So of course I quickly entered the battle to make sure see if I can catch it. At the time, I obviously forgot that I had no Pokeballs and that I probably wouldn't catch it anyway. So instead, I found this Fletchling, which I really liked, and decided to catch him instead, which will be my very first Pokemon caught on this channel. Woohoo! So on my way, I looked around and found this nether portal, and then I went looking more for a base before having to go on to my second day. Lechonk. After the encounter with the Lechonk, I found this mysterious house, so I decided to have a quick look where I found some loot in a chest which contained 5 bits of iron and also an iron shovel I could use. And within the house there wasn't much but I decided to pillage his house like a normal Minecraft player, and he looked at me, and there wasn't really much, except I found this link cable and also snowshoes, which will be becoming helpful. They basically make it so I don't go on powder snow. Talking about snow, I came across this wild Swinub, which I was very, very excited to see, as these are some of my favourite Pokemon, and I tried to catch him, in which, after 2 Pokeballs, I finally caught him, because he did get out the first one, and I got him on my very last Pokeball, which I was so over the moon with, which I had to make sure I get a good capture of it, because having a Mamoswine on the farm will be such a good Pokemon. Exploring through the mountains to find my base location, I did come across this weird ear, which looked super, super cool, and I hope you can ride these in future updates. At the time I didn't know that, but it was kind of cool. I came across some cool mossy caves with lanterns before I came across a Corviknight, which was around these medicinal leeks. I don't know what these do yet. I'm pretty sure you can use them to farm different sorts of potions and stuff like that. Before I moved on to my 4th day, I think before I just said 2nd day, 4th day this is. So I moved on and I did see the clearing, which is now home to my base. I loved it, and there was even Milk Tank and Chicken around to go and talk to, and obviously I need these on my farm at a later date. So I did start setting up my base, placing crafting tables and making chests and furnaces, and I wanted to set up my first farm. So in order to do that, I realised I needed to make a bucket and get some water so I can farm some crops, as I didn't know where the water source was, so I did have to go exploring a little bit, where I did find a waterfall which I harvested. There is a lake nearby, luckily I can go to. So after quickly farming a little bit and using my new crafted hoe, I planted all my seeds, which was mainly tomatoes and potatoes, but there was some sweet berries and these not flax plants, they're like the little grape things, hops, that's what they were called as well. I also started clearing out the area, as the coarse dirt did make it unarable, so I did have to go all over it and start putting some normal dirt, as you can't actually use a hoe on coarse dirt, which is somewhat weird. I feel like that could be updated differently, which is a bit sad, so I did have to change it all to normal dirt, so I can farm it at a later date. I also started mining out some things, so I started out my mine to get some minerals. It took me a little bit, and I got very, very bored looking down all the time, so I decided to go into the little hole. It's like a little mountainside hole over here, so I just went to it, and I did find some interesting stuff actually. I found some, I think there were dusk and dawn stones up here, which were pretty fun. I needed them, as some Pokemon do need them for evolution. I can't think of one. I'm pretty sure, oh, that's a good question. I think pretty sure Ralts or Curly uses a Dawnstone to go into Gallade, if I'm sure. Something like that, I can't remember. But they were helpful, and I also came back with lots of coal and iron. I also did craft an iron hammer, which I thought was going to mine it in a 3x3, but found out that it doesn't, so that's a shame, a waste of iron as well. But as I was mining, I did come across a large cave with some blackstone in it, and in fact lots of blackstone. And yeah, it took me a little bit to clear out the area, as there were some mobs, but after a quick lighting up session around, I did kind of do it. I did nearly die a couple of times of full damage trying to get down here, because well, that's a bit of exaggeration, but it did hurt falling down every single time. So I had to make a little staircase around and stuff like that, which was quite funny. Yeah. So after quickly lighting up the area, I did come across some creepers which dropped these hat bags, and I got like a fire hat. At a later date, I did make a hat chest at my base, just because there's so many of them that I honestly I just had to put somewhere, because you can't stack them, so I had to do that as well. You can see me now lighting up the area. My method is I sprint around screaming, because I'm scared that a mob skeleton's going to shoot me. So I quickly light up the area so no mobs can spawn in. I don't know why I act like a little go over this, but I just do. And then I started mining some of the excess iron. There was also lots of copper that I got as well. I also collected quite a lot of zinc ore, as I will need this to create items later on. So things like andesite casing that I need to get some andesite for later on. And the zinc also just is a basic tool in the create mod, so I definitely needed to collect a lot of that. This moved me on too quickly. I don't know what day I'm on now, I've lost count. This must be about day 7 because I had a couple days before where I cut out just because of farming and general moving dirt, terraforming and stuff like that. But before that, I did also smelt all my stuff. I made the second furnace for it all, and then I went quickly collecting through all my diary. I'd also like to mention while I'm in the diary collecting all my rewards, that a part of this mod pack, I will be going into some vehicles. So this could be like tractors and stuff. I did start building one quite recently on a future video just to see how it works, but it's a bit too complicated and a bit too expensive, so I haven't started that just yet. But yeah, so quickly enough I started using all the stuff that I got from the diary, all these XP candies, and I basically started evolving. So I evolved my Bulbasaur starter to an Ivysaur, which I thought there was an animation, but found out that's in a future update, which I didn't install yet because it's not for this mod pack just yet, sadly, because it's an outdated version of Minecraft. So my Fletchling was only level 5, which was very underleveled comparing my other ones were level 10 and level 17. So I used it quickly and it leveled up super quickly, and then a Mareep popped up. So this Mareep was going to be on my team no matter what. I know I need it for wool harvesting. I don't think I harvested just yet, but when I build my base I do. So basically I used my leech seed method, and then I used vine whips to weaken it before throwing my Pokeball. So it wasn't too long till I threw a Premier Ball, and I took a couple of I think it took my first attempt. I threw the Pokeball and it rolled 3 times and went ching. So yeah, I caught the Mareep, which is lucky because I definitely need lots of these on the farm. So I decided after that I was going to look after some more Pokemon, but quickly after that I did obviously evolve my Fletchling into Fletchinder, and then I did the moves and basically sorted them all out. As I went out I saw the Wooloo, which I decided to catch. I went on, and because I was a Mareep I used Thunder Wave to paralyze it, basically makes it easier to catch, but because Mareep was super low from the last battle and it hadn't healed yet, I had to quickly switch to Ivysaur and try to throw the Pokeball and weaken it with him. So I caught the Wooloo, which was pretty easy. It was only like level 13 or something, so it was super easy. So yeah, I crafted a carpenter's table too, which is from the chipped mod, which is going to be helpful when building my base. I did find it difficult because the wood doesn't match the texture pack, so it's a bit difficult using them at the minute, but I get used to it I'm sure, and I'll find a palette quick enough. But yeah, I started laying my base foundations, which is basically going to be where the base is going to end up. I will hopefully build this next episode. I don't know if I should start a little bit, but yeah. So to start my base, I needed deep slates, and I also wanted to add some tough in case, so I did get some of that too, and I also collected some minerals. But luckily, a shiny Weedle popped up. So I quickly rushed. Luckily I had no volume on, so you didn't see my reaction because I was screaming like a little girl. And I quickly rushed over and tried to find it. This other Weedle was lurking, but I could see it on the minimap that there was this yellow outlined thing, and I determined it must be in the tree. So I quickly went up on the mountain and looked behind me, and there it was in the middle of the tree. Not sparkling, but I could definitely know it was a shiny Weedle because I know I love shiny Weedle, well, shiny Beedrill, so I knew I had to go and catch it. So I quickly knocked down the tree, where I did find that knocking down trees with this vein miner was very easy, and I used the Thunder Wave and Weaken Down method, and I think it catched with a Great Ball. Obviously this is my first shiny, I do want to catch more, so yep, maybe my goal is to catch 5 shiny Pokemon, I think. And because it was already level 20, it didn't take long for me to evolve it into a Kakuna and then a Beedrill. This wandering trader was still watching me as I was doing it, but we are also saying goodbye for now, as this is the end of today's video. So if you guys did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel to see more. I do other content like Planet Zoo and also Planet Coaster 2 videos, but I thought I'd get this one out as it is a new series. So I see you very, very soon. Bye!